It seems like there are people who dream and people who don't. I'm definitely one of those who dreams a lot. But I often wonder, to be honest, those who don't dream, is it really that they don't dream or they just don't remember their dreams? Because it seems like we do dream anyways, right? I'm here in Italy spending the Christmas holidays with my family, and apparently everyone is sick or has been sick this past December. After a couple of days that I was here, I got sick too. That's the reason why I came all the way here by car. Usually I bike to this place. This is one of my favorite places to go take a walk or spend time outdoors here in Friuli, my home region. I got a cold and you can hear my voice is not normal, so that's the reason. Don't get worried. On top of being sick, the air quality here in northern Italy at the moment is absolutely horrible. I was telling my husband about this. My husband lives in New York and has visited this area several times, and he knows how environmentally cautious we are, especially in comparison to people in New York. Our houses are built in an energy efficient way. Our cars are energy efficient. In big cities especially, we cannot drive around with any type of car. We keep our temperature in the houses in winter very low, generally between 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. That's 65 to 68 Fahrenheit, I believe. I mean, he was surprised about this. He was wondering how is that possible? And that is possible simply because of the geography of northern Italy. We are stuck between two chains of mountains, which are the Alps in the north and the Apennines in the south of northern Italy. So there is not much air circulation, and there are also other interesting meteorological phenomena such as the inversion, I believe it's called, inversione termica. Look it up if you're someone curious about geography. It's a quite interesting phenomenon. I always think a lot about the dreams because I dream a lot, and very often I wake up in the morning and the dream that I've had is still so vivid in my head. And sometimes I write it down. I have a little notebook. There are really so many weird phenomena in our dreams, or at least in my dreams. I sometimes dream of things from the past, but all mixed together in environments that have nothing to do with each other. For example, I dream of being in Rome, where I've lived in the past, but in certain parts of the same dream, I suddenly am in New York City. Or I dream of my family members, but in situations where they are not in real life. And I wonder, have they been in those situations in other lives? Have they been those type of people in a parallel universe, or maybe they are? And then the creepiest thing of all is when you dream of places that do not exist in real life. And they are recurrent places that are there in my dreams from time to time, but they only exist in my dreams. I've never seen them in real life. I've never been there. I'm actually curious to know if this happens to some of you as well, or if I'm just completely crazy. I feel like nowadays people don't dream as much because we tend to stay up very late at night watching something, either Netflix or some TV series, or scrolling on social media. In general, because of so much artificial illumination, we tend to go to sleep much, much later. But in the morning, we still have to wake up pretty early to go to work. So my idea is that we sleep less. And on me, I notice that I dream a lot when I have plenty of time to sleep. And I also notice that the people around me that sleep less hours tend to not remember their dreams. But again, maybe they don't even dream at all. I really don't know. We know so little about this world that we inhabit at night, every single night, and we spend 1/3 of our lives inhabiting. That is actually a little bit crazy. So that's it. I just wanted to share these reflections. Sometimes I think about those, and I would like to know what you think about it as well. On top of the problem that the air is polluted, there is the bigger problem that people are not even realizing it on a day-to-day basis. Because if they live into this polluted air, they don't even realize that it's there, you know? I noticed it because I was coming from a place where the air is much fresher, much cleaner. So I felt like the air suddenly became very heavy outside of the airplane when I landed in Venice. But people who live here, they don't even talk about this because they don't realize that the problem is there. Literally nobody talks about it. So in theory, they know about it because environmental agencies make measurements. And so on the newspapers, you can read that the air is polluted from time to time because it's not something that is, a sensational big news. But in the day-to-day basis, people are not thinking about it. Yet there is a way bigger problem than this. I live in New York City, where 8 million people live in a very limited piece of land, and the air quality is always top-notch in that city. How is that possible? It's simply because there's wind coming from the ocean and just cleans up the air constantly. There is a lot of air pollution produced in the city of New York. Yet, you don't perceive it because there is a constant wind from the ocean that cleans it up every day, all the time. So the pollution is not that it's not there, it's not that it's not produced, but it's distributed everywhere else. And the problem with this, in my opinion, is that in New York City, if you're a New Yorker, you don't realize how much pollution you're putting out in the air, just because the air is always clean. But it doesn't mean that you are polluting less than areas like Friuli. It just means that all the crap that you're putting out in the air is blown away to other areas of this planet without you even realizing that this is happening. So that's an even bigger problem, because in that way, really nobody in New York talks about the pollution that is produced by the city. It's 8 million people living there, and the environmental consciousness that people have there is not even comparable to the one that people have here. And in northern Italy, don't get me wrong, we are not German, we are not Dutch, we are not Scandinavian. Northern Europe is much more environmentally conscious, yet compared to North America, we are all environmental activists here. For the record, in New York City, the average indoor temperature, I think it's 23 to 25 degrees Celsius. You don't need wool sweaters to be indoors. You can stay in a cotton t-shirt. And many buildings have so many drafts and so big that you can actually feel them if you're sitting in a room. First day of the new year. Luckily, yesterday night it has been raining a lot, so the air cleaned up a little bit. By the way, it's probably a random fact, but this morning I woke up feeling much better with my sickness. And I'm breathing so much better today. It's probably not random, but I don't know. You live in such beautiful and natural place, and yet you are breathing poison every year in the winter season. I don't know what to think about this. I just wanted to talk about it because it's a very big impression that I've had these Christmas holidays, and not only. And again, nobody talks about it. So I always think a lot about dreams, but especially today, because this morning I was reading the Strolic Furlan par 2024. This is a little booklet distributed by the Philologic Society of Friuli, of the Friulan language. Many of you will know already that I have two mother languages. I sort of grew up bilingual because besides Italian, in Friuli, in this region, we grow up speaking or listening to a regional language, which is Friulan. And many of you always ask me about this other mother language that I have. So today I'm going to read you a little page from this about dreams that I found so inspiring, actually. It's the introduction to the month of January, and it's written by Angelo Floramo. Seconti poetis indisin in bomba... Siums. Seconti poetis in di sinin bombaz, sostanze erant, immagini e vision, sempre difficili di gafà, utopie, bruzium, desideri e pore. Spieta di alc che non rive, tant che l'amor, il successo, o sa la cor una vincita al giug. Misclic di alchimie stranis sull'or mal sigur che al chiappe dentri il sens stes dal confin. Quel può estrem di duc, la linea che passe tra il fium e la ve, tra la chiar e il pensier, tra la coscienza e l'abbandon. Dunque, in definitiva, tra la vita e la morte. Perché sti antichi sacrodevin che fossero immagini che avvenivano dall'infier e che dunque appartenevano, in qualche maniera, al mondo ai morti? Ma i morti non si insumin. Nus vengono acchiattati sotto dai cieli, biel che dormin. Nus visin, amman di segnai, difficili di decifrare. Nus regalin numers bons, qualche volte. Nus cridin, poi di spes, o a prenunzin c'è calzerà. Quanche lo fasin i dius a crein i mons. A mancul chessa lecce che nus contins li sagis o i mits. Gli animali si insumino. Mi è capitato di osservare i chians che adduarmin. Si movin, a nasin laiar, a talpettin come parcori da ora alc. Ma indulà. E i dolfins? A disin che il lor cerviel al se di bon di dormì a metat. Si insumino di vivi? O vivino insumianzi? Unedì un ami filosof mi disse: e se noatris non esistessimo per nuia, ma fossino dome il siun di qualchidun, condannats a sparì quanche ch'el si dismoverà? Sa la cor alle chesti il sens dal murì. Qui sa.